Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chicago Kino. Welcome to another episode of my blog and my podcast. I'm here with a newcomer to Chicago, Emily Wines. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi. Master Sommelier and Director of Wines for the Kimpton Hotels. And you have a new project here, which I'm looking forward to hearing something about. But let's start with how you first became interested in wine and a little about your career up to this point.
Okay, well, wine has always been something I've been interested in. It was about my beverage of choice, and I went to France when I was about 23 years old, and I really fell in love with it. And that's really at the time that it surpassed beer as the thing that I most drank. And at the same time, I was going to school and working in restaurants, and initially I started studying wine because I wanted to be a better waitress. I felt silly talking about wine to my tables, and so I started picking up some really simple wine books. And then as I started to read about the wine and understand the cultures behind it, and the history, and all these different places that wine came from, I really got the wine bug. And so I started buying more books and going to stores and buying the things I was reading about. And then from there, my career kind of just took a shift into becoming a sommelier.
Okay. How did you first start along that path? Did you have a mentor?
I did, and the beauty of the job of being a sommelier is that it is one of mentorship and apprenticeship. And so I had a really great mentor. I started out namely with Rajat Par, the fifth floor restaurant. Before that, I had been studying about wine, but that was the first person that really took me under their wing to explore that as a career.
Great. Okay. Tell me about some of the sommelier training that you've undertaken. I know a number of readers on my blog are in sommelier school.
Okay.
So I could use some encouragement from someone like you.
Most of my training has been in the trenches. A big part of it is just working the floor and understanding sales and understanding guests' needs and matching the foods with the wine. But then the other part of that is the book study, and that mostly happens at home, and lots of flashcards. And I was in study groups and tasting groups to practice my blind tasting. And did my
That's a big part of the exam. The higher up you go, right?
Yes, absolutely, and that's a challenge. But
how did you get better at that?
Practice.
It's practice.
Yeah,
okay.
Lots of practice, a lot of drinking.
Okay. Let's talk about your latest project, which is here in Chicago. Tell us a little about the restaurant that's about to open
Well,
up.
Sable is just about to open. We're really excited about it. It's definitely a restaurant it's got some great cuisine, but it's really all about the beverages. We've got a wonderful bar program. Our mixologist is doing some exciting things. And then we have a really flexible wine list with lots of by the glass and small half-bottle options.
And how many different restaurants have you designed wine lists for in the past?
In the past year and a half, I've done about 10.
Do you try to make each one a little different?
Absolutely. I have my favorite wines that always end up showing up on the wine lists, but I do want to make the wine program match the concept of the restaurant and also the sort of the price point that we're going for.
That's one thing I've always wondered about. Does the food come first and then they call you up, or
it's a whole package, really. I mean, certainly the wine part comes in much later, but they've already thought about the design of the restaurant, sort of the feel of it, whether it be a steakhouse or an Italian restaurant, and so I make the wine list match that.
Okay. Can you give any secrets away what this restaurant's going to be like?
Well, this restaurant's about flexibility, small plates, enjoying like a real mix of different kinds of cuisine, and so the wine list is supposed to be just as playful, something that you can try a lot of different things to match up with the different unique flavors.
Great. All right. Just in closing, I'm wondering if you have any advice for those who are looking towards wine as a career, either part-time or full-time like myself.
Well, I would say just go for it. It's a great business, and there's a lot of really interesting avenues in wine beyond working in a restaurant. As you know, there's a lot of exciting opportunities in the wine world these days, and it just keeps growing. So.
And what are you finding out about Chicago? Are you going to be here for home base, or are you still going to travel?
I'll still be based out of San Francisco. So this is one of the many restaurants that we have around the country, and so I'm here for the week, and I'll be back in a couple months to check up on it. And Chicago is a great food town. It's really exciting to be here, and I wish I was here longer to try it all.
Well, it's a pleasure meeting you, Emily. Please check out the blog, and I will definitely check out the restaurant. Give us the name again.
Sable,
and the start date is?
The start date is next Wednesday.
That will be the 23rd.
23rd.
For those of us who get this on a
Yes.
state delay.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Have a
thank you
great
so much.
afternoon.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Let's turn this off.
Edit this later.